Matthew McConaughey. Okay, he is here in Sundance with Mud, a great film, a great character for you. Yeah. And obviously your physicality has changed dramatically from just shooting a movie you obviously wrapped. What's the name of that film?
Dallas Buyers Club.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
that was a wonderful experience.
And how much weight did you lose?
I told my lowest was 47 pounds. And then I don't know if and when I'll get back up to the 180s, which is where I lived before. I'll wait for the role.
Right, and that was where we saw you in Mud, right? You're incredible.
That's 180, 183, 184.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about that character.
Let's talk about Mud. He's a wonderful guy.
Mud. Oh, and how about getting Sam Shepard? I mean,
how great is Sam Shepard?
Love seeing him.
And I like Sam Shepard, but I do not remember liking him more than what he does in this film.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's really, really good in this movie.
Tell me about why did you want to be Mud? I mean, obviously this feels like your film and your energy feels like it's behind it.
Yeah. One, it was a beautifully written script by the director, Jeff Nichols. Very clear, original Southern voice, poetic. This guy Mud is this aristocrat of the heart, sort of this river prince. His whole being is based on the love of this woman, Juniper, who's played by Reese, who saved his life when he was 10 years old. And ever since that day, that's the woman for him. So for the past 32 years, he's been going to her. She comes back for a little bit. She leaves with another man. He chases her, maybe whoops that man's backside and gets her back. She leaves him again. So in that way is what I mean, aristocrat of the heart. He's very chivalrous in that way. And what he does, he's sort of a conduit in this film, sort of a messenger for this young boy, Ellis, who's going through what every adolescent kid goes through, where, you're really not old enough to know worse or know the practicalities of how love and broken hearts work. But this is about the time you start to you find out that love hurts. His mom and dad get a divorce. Yeah. So that was true love. What do you mean mom and dad are getting divorced? Yeah. What? He has a girl that he got his first kiss from.
God, May Pearl or Pearl May?
May Pearl.
May Pearl.
Who dupes him.
Boys. But that's what I loved about the film is the pacing of it. You get in and you think that everything's face value. It looks very simple in the beginning. Like you're this character, obviously something terrible has happened, you're hiding out, they discover you, it's so rural, and these just boys being boys, and that kind of...
There's a magical realism to the whole thing.
Incredible. And then the layers, everything's so simple in the beginning. Yeah. And you just love Juniper, and that's it. And the kids are so vested in that love story, well, especially him, Ellis. Yeah. And then it gets so much more complicated. And it's just kind of like life. Like in the beginning of the movie, you're like, oh, and then it just keeps going and keeps going.
It's a great mystery of a story, too. And this guy, when I say he's a conduit or a messenger to the Ellis kid, this young man is getting the realities of life, telling him, wait a minute, true love doesn't exist. Wait a minute, romanticism doesn't exist. And via Mud, here's a guy who's a living example of unconditional love for one woman. So in a lot of ways, his heart is more adolescent than the boys. And that's what's beautiful about him. That's what's sad about the guy. And I figure if he ever came down to earth and looked and said, what am I doing? I've been chasing this woman for 32 years and she keeps kicking me out. I'm going to have some self-respect to move on. I think he'd die.
Yeah. Well, it just keeps him going.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole thing.
I think it'd be over for him.
Yeah, it's great. Well, it's great. It's always great to see you on the big screen. Always enjoy your performances.
Thank you.
Always good. And it's just great to see you again and have a great Sundance.